Why is it that every time I log on to Twitter, I need to watch a back and forth between Ethan Klein and Hasan Piker like it's a part-time job? Does anyone involved in this do anything other than talk shit about the other group? I feel like Ethan Klein versus Hasan Piker is like Israel-Palestine in a microcosm. It feels like they've been fighting for my entire life, and it doesn't look like they're going to stop fighting anytime soon. Can we all go back to 2017 when YouTube was fun, when everyone was good? Remember that? Let's go back to that. Remember when Ethan Klein was doing Vape Nation?
My name's Ethan Klein, and I'm the CEO of Vape Nation.
That was good. I missed that. Now it's just my name's Ethan Klein, and the CEO of Twitch is secretly in Hamas. Don't get me wrong, Ethan's not the only one annoying me with this situation. Hasan Piker, he was a lot better in 2017 too. Have a look at this.
I want to say thank you to Miley Cyrus for showing off her camel toe at the VMAs the other night. If the 15-year-old Hasan Piker from high school watching Miley Cyrus on the Disney Channel, yes, I used to do that.
Yeah, man, I used to watch the Disney Channel even though it was fucking gay. What happened to this Hasan? Where did he go?
Yes, I used to do that. Would fucking see where she is now. He would give me a mental high five across time and land and space.
Across time and land and space? Or, in other words, from the river to the sea?
I always knew Hannah Montana was a little fucking slut. Don't even try to hide.
How good was YouTube in 2014? You could just make videos calling women sluts and people were like, oh, this is great. I'm going to watch this while I have breakfast. Before we get into this incredibly divisive video, come and see me live in 2025, loosebeers.com. Melbourne starts this month, and then I'm going all over Australia. UK dates announced soon, and I'm going to be doing many, many more cities. If your city is not listed here, click the link, chuck your city in, and I'll shoot you a message when I'm on the way. Enjoy. I think these guys were both funnier when they were a bit chubby. You know what I mean? They dieted themselves out of humor. They both look a lot better, and I'm sure they're a lot more healthy, but, you know, dudes with man tits are a little bit funnier. I take that back. I don't know about Hasan Piker calling Miley Cyrus a slut being funny, but you know what? He looks funny. He kind of looks like Steven Crowder. Have you noticed that? For real, dude, it's uncanny. Chubby Hasan Piker looks exactly like current day Steven Crowder. Both of them known to call women sluts. Although, in Hasan's defense, he was saying that to a stranger. Steven's more likely to do that to his own wife while she's pregnant.
American groceries. I'd be happy.
Steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's not unreasonable. No, you're not taking the cut. You're not taking the cut.
Nothing says traditional conservative values like smoking a cigar in your pregnant wife's face and telling her she can't leave the house unless she is to do the groceries while heavily pregnant. We love it. Sorry to get nostalgic on you guys. I just missed 2015 when Ethan Klein was doing Vape Nation jokes, Hasan Piker was sexist, and Israel-Palestine were getting along just fine. Look, I'm telling some jokes here, but the main point of this video is to say, whoa, what's going on? Like, why are child services being called on YouTubers because of a tiff between friends? Like, that is absolutely insane. And it really, really goes to show that anyone who uses Reddit for anything other than, like, an answer to a question is probably evil. And very, very sad and broken on the inside. This week, Ethan Klein made a video revealing that child services showed up to his home over what seems to be just false reports about child neglect.
In my long career on YouTube, I've pretty much seen it all. I've been swatted several times with LAPD helicopters, the street shut down. We've also been visited by the FBI 3 times. They were all to warn us of a credible threat against our lives.
Someone filed a report claiming to be a former employee and saying that there was dog shit all over the house, that the children were eating and then getting sick, and CPS showed up to his home to interview his children. And that's like a pretty traumatic experience for parents and also for children. A lot of people are saying, oh, you know, they're so young, they'll probably just forget it. But like, when kids are too young to form memories, that's usually when their personality is being formed, and stress and anger and fear from parental figures and strangers in the home, that can really mess up a kid. So this, to me, is like a real evil act that just harms children, that doesn't help anyone's cause, because it really does seem like this was done as like a way to get at Ethan for, in their view, being pro-genocide. But here's the thing. I'm not so sure if doxing and calling the police to show up at a streamer's house helps the Palestinian struggle at all. How are you helping Gazans that are trying to survive a genocide? Me? Oh, I'm calling CPS on a YouTuber and trying to get his kids taken away from him. And I don't really know. Maybe the butterfly effect of that will somehow get clean drinking water to children in Palestine. I don't know. I'm just a very angry, hateful person.
One time, most recently, he came at 7 a.m. and said, "Do not open any packages until you hear from me, as we have credible bomb threats against you that we found online."
Whenever I hear about stuff like this, I just think, why on earth would you ever be a live streamer? Anyone who streams for more than like 4 to 6 hours a day seems to attract the most unhinged audience that literally want to see you die on stream. Like, they're the most unhinged people. And of course, I'm not trying to victim blame here, but God, is the money worth it? Everyone who streams for a considerable amount of time either ends up getting swatted or just has to stop because it's destroying their mind and their body. Hasan seems to be the only guy that looks like anywhere near what a human being should look like. Like, he's the only dude that seems to be physically and mentally healthy through all of this stuff. And I don't know if he's got a really good makeup person or he's good at hiding his demons, but he seems to be the only one that has skirted like the bullet of streaming ruining your life.
Seeing how extreme Hasan and his fan base are, and his orbiters, but the lengths to which they've gone to harass us and get revenge for going after their god king Hasan, well, they're calling CPS, Child Protective Services, to come to our house and break up our family.
What? That's disgusting. What kind of evil, sinister, demonic group would intentionally target innocent children? There would have to be some kind of evil force in the world. That's disgusting. No, look, for real, this is like horrifying to see. And it's a real boundary and a line that should never be crossed, which is messing with people's families and children. I am joking to try and keep the video like entertaining, but this is completely fucked and it should not ever happen. But I don't know how you stop this when you are a streamer that engages in the most divisive topic online, which is Israel-Palestine. And I'm not saying that they should stop talking about it, Hasan or Ethan both. I just don't know how you can avoid this happening. This is a common problem that happens with all popular live streamers. But when you start involving politics like this, that people on both sides have family that have died or may die, this is when you get psychos that think that they're actually at war with a streamer because they have a differing opinion about a conflict. The type of person that reports fake crimes to authorities to get streamers killed or their children taken away from them is just the most unhinged individual online and really, really just lives in sorrow and sadness. And you can see that when you have a look at some of the people that are celebrating the fact that CPS got sent to Ethan's house.
CPS called me. They're investigating you, homie. And you're posting on Instagram? Oh, I hope his kids get taken away from him.
I hope someone takes away your hairdresser's scissors. What the fuck have they done to you? Actually, I know you've done that to yourself. Have you ever seen a cry for help louder than a haircut like that? Dear God, man. Milady, whatever. Z, that's fucking wild, brother. Fix that. If you look in the mirror and you look like that, you're not allowed to have an opinion about anyone else's life because you gotta fucking fix yours. Not to get old Jordan Peterson clean your room, but dear God, clean your room. Look, I know you live in the car, but clean the car at least. Stop it with the blue rinse. I've had blue hair before. It was a horrible mistake. It made me sad. I can see that it's doing that to you. The blue dye has infected your brain. Calling CPS on a YouTuber because they have the wrong opinion is not a good thing. And look, to be clear, I'm not trying to downplay anything or really make any sort of comment on anyone's opinion about the Israel-Palestine thing. For clarity, I think it's a fucking genocide, and I think it is awful, and it needs to stop. How it needs to stop, I don't know. People smarter than me will figure that out. Maybe some streamer has the correct answer. maybe we should start listening to more of them. But I just don't think that what is happening to Ethan Klein is something that is cool or okay, and it's pretty wild that no one is kind of saying that, hey, maybe we shouldn't call CPS on people because we don't like their videos. Anyway, let's have a look at what Hasan Piker had to say about the CPS getting called on Ethan Klein. I don't know.
Bro, is there a thing that happens? Is there a thing that happens on the planet to Ethan that I am not responsible for? There is no world in which I would ever fucking entertain that, okay? That is a psychotic thing. Especially because, let me tell you why I would never do that. Because I'm not Ethan fucking Klein. Completely unacceptable. It's completely ridiculous. The fact that people have done that is also insane. I don't know who did it. I don't know what they did. But the notion that, like, I would ever entertain that is insane.
Yeah, look, I don't think Hasan Piker is stoked about his fans calling CPS on Ethan. When you are streaming to millions of people, inevitably there are going to be the worst types of people in that group, and a significant number of them. So I don't necessarily agree with Ethan going, oh, Hasan's fans are doing this to me. He has to stop this. As unfortunate as it is, this is almost the reality of being a streamer now, where people will target you and try to ruin your life for fun because someone who is live every day, if you fuck with them, you get to see the joy drain from their face in real time in 4K if their internet is good enough. And that's a horrific reality that we shouldn't live in, but that's the world. But you will see this like irrational blaming of other people's fans on the creator on both sides. You know, Ethan Klein is going, oh, Hasan's fans are like doxing me and shit, even when Hasan is going, hey, yeah, don't do insane things and don't do criminal acts. You know, he's pretty much very loudly denounced that. But then you've got Ethan Klein, or Hasan's fans going, oh, Ethan's fans are doxing people who are critical of him and ruining their life. That means that Ethan's a psycho. It's like you guys are both doing the same thing, blaming each other's audiences for like a tiny minority of absolute fucking psychos. Unfortunately, the only way to make this stuff stop is to stop talking about it. And that's terrible. But I don't know what the other solution is.
He said, I'm glad that phase is behind me. Enjoy hell. Joe Coop said. Let's start David. Here he is, if anyone, let's see if I know, can identify him at all.
The people saying I need to let go of the whole Ethan Klein thing, this is the type of shit my family receives every single day. So shout out to Ethan Klein that my mom, who is an art teacher at an impoverished public school, has to deal with this shit. You are truly the morally superior YouTuber.
This shit is always horrible when people send death threats and horrible stuff to DMs. I get it all the time, right? But what do you expect when you engage with audiences that you know are fucking insane and you tell their like God King to enjoy hell? Like that's like we all know that psychos are on the internet and we kind of have to act accordingly. If you're commenting from public profiles on famous people's shit, like their stalker psycho fans are going to come after you. And I don't think it's necessarily the creator's fault if you're the one that left the comment in the first place. I don't know. The internet is such an evil, dark, toxic place that it's like if you have to be a dark, toxic person telling other people to go to hell, do it from a private account or don't complain when the other psychos come for you as well. I think the reason why this has gotten so toxic and so bad is like the era of the internet that I really started in and Ethan started in and all of the really massive YouTubers started in, like from like 2012 to 2017, 18, the era of being able to make a video and that one video completely annihilating another person's career for a significant amount of time, that shit is done, dude. Like, that doesn't happen anymore. That's essentially a less woke version of cancel culture. Like, a comment cop doesn't destroy someone's career anymore because people don't care about anything because there's so much information. I remember I used to be able to do a Lou review and people would be like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is going to destroy them. And it would have this huge effect that I didn't even really like. I was just trying to tell jokes and it would actually cost people money. Now, you know, you can basically release 4K video footage of someone committing a horrific crime and people forget about that shit in 24 hours. So doing a content nuke on Hasan Piker doesn't affect him because the type of person that likes Ethan would never like Hasan and vice versa. So you're only just kind of getting people to agree with you on something that they already believed.
Fucking content nuke. I think Ethan thought that content nuke was going to change the game. It was gonna get 10 million views or maybe even 8 million views like the Keemstar video did. Be like, oh my God. It turns out this Hasan guy was bad all along. Okay. And when that didn't happen, he lost his fucking mind. He literally thought that like mainstream media would cover it. The very same people that actually gave you the information, the fucking 2 hours worth of clips out of context, they already tried this in a more sophisticated way than you could ever imagine.
I mean, yeah, Hasan is completely right. Like, Hasan said a bunch of stuff that I really vehemently disagree with, and he's platformed a bunch of really questionable people. Ethan's also said things that I really disagree with. But, like, dude, the guy, you can Sieg Heil twice at a political rally, and the president will sell your cars in front of the White House. Like, there are no consequences on the internet anymore. It's not real. People just can't care about stuff. And I think a big reason for that is we can actually see real genocide in real time on Twitter. It makes mean words and bad jokes seem a lot less fucked in comparison because we're watching people die in 4K from drone footage on Twitter. I don't care that you told an off-color joke or had the wrong opinion, you know? I see that shit doesn't matter anymore. And because of this complete oversaturation of information and takes and opinions, people just can invent a caricature of you and just run with it and attack that straw man. And I think that's what we're seeing on both sides. You know, the people that hate Hasan hate a version of him that has been created by people that really disagree with his political opinions and who he is, and people that hate Ethan have kind of done the same thing. Like, Hasan Piker is this Hamas supporting terrorist sympathizer, but then you turn on his stream and you don't really see that. And, you know, Ethan Klein is this pro-genocide staunch Zionist, but when you turn on his stream, you watch him explaining the history and struggle of Palestine to Trisha Paytas.
Before there was a mass immigration of Jews from Europe and around the world to Israel, there was the Palestinians lived there, more or less. This is very simplified. And then the Jews bought up a ton of land and moved them and just kind of forced them in a lot of ways down into the West Bank and the Gaza Strip.
People say that Ethan Klein hasn't done anything to support the Palestinian struggle. But I fucking challenge anyone on earth to try and describe the history of Israel and Palestine to Trisha Paytas. I guarantee you couldn't do it. All right, this work is up there with the work that the UN is doing. That's how difficult it is.
It is. If you go back in a map, used to be called Palestine, Palestinian territory.
So if I go to Israel, I can walk into Palestine.
Well, Palestine is kind of.
Oh man, that's, you know, like, to hear that and not burst out laughing like I did. I couldn't do that.
In Gaza Strip, which is like a really horrible place to live, and they're like boxing this tiny bit of land that Israel owns, and it's fucking horrible to live there.
So they're not like walking around Tel Aviv.
Clips like this from before, way before the October 7 thing, really kind of make me disagree with people saying that Ethan is some genocide-supporting Zionist monster. Like, he was talking about this when nobody else was and explaining it in a real fair, calm way to someone who doesn't know anything about it. Like, this is why, like, when you see shit on the internet about these people being evil, you then look into it and you find out, oh, they're not actually that fucking evil. I mean, they are both insane, going at each other like this for days, months on end. And it seems like it will never end, and Ethan in particular is going even more insane by the day. I think because it's having no effect on either of them. It doesn't matter how many views these videos are getting. It doesn't matter how many people agree with one person or the other. It has no effect on the other person because at the end of the day, the Hasan Piker fan would never like Ethan Klein, and the Ethan Klein fan would never like Hasan Piker. There used to be some overlap, but it's completely diverged now that it doesn't matter how big their audiences get. It has no effect on the other one. It's like Republicans and Democrats fighting and never agreeing. Nothing changes. It's just taking shots at each other and no one changes their mind and the world doesn't get better. But I will say it is absolutely reprehensible that, you know, Ethan's children are involved with this and CPS are being called and people's houses are being SWAT. That's disgusting and terrible, and I think it's crazy that like no one on YouTube is really calling it out. So that's why I'm making this video, but I've filled it with a few jokes that both sides probably won't enjoy. That's the channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.